I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Michael Cohen predicts that Donald Trump is too scared, too big of a coward to show up at the deposition on September 6th that Michael Cohen noticed. This is in connection with the $500 million federal lawsuit filed by Donald Trump against Michael Cohen in the Southern District of Florida. Donald Trump filing this completely frivolous lawsuit to harass and, I believe, in my opinion, obstruct justice by trying to send a message to other witnesses against him in the various cases by going after Michael Cohen like this. But Cohen and his incredible team of lawyers noticed Donald Trump's deposition right away and said, "Bet, you are suing me for $500 million. Michael Cohen's like, "Great, then Donald Trump, you are going to sit for a deposition. Here's your deposition notice." Donald Trump tried to avoid it. The federal judge ordered that Donald Trump sit for a deposition on September 6th. That is set in stone. I don't believe that deposition date is going to move. So then Donald Trump went back to whine and cry and complain to the judge and say, "Judge, I don't want Michael Cohen asking me certain questions. And Judge, I want to keep this all secret and keep it all under seal. I deserve special treatment." And Michael Cohen was like, "No, be quiet. I'm going to take your deposition." And in this $500 million lawsuit, the allegations that you are making against Michael Cohen, that you're making against him, are very, very broad. So if you're saying Cohen's lying about you and saying false statements, Cohen should say, "Okay, what are the false statements that you believe Cohen has made about you? List them right now." So the issue is Donald Trump's put this in legal briefing, folks, that Donald Trump's lawyer saying that Donald Trump fears about getting embarrassed and having his reputation harmed as a result of this deposition. Donald Trump also says that he may invoke his Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. You filed this lawsuit. Cohen didn't sue you. You sued Cohen in this lawsuit for $500 million. So you better be ready to answer these questions in a case that you brought. So this lawsuit by Trump has backfired magnificently, like all of Donald Trump's dumb legal strategies, which are intended more for consumption on right-wing MAGA media than for any legitimate legal purpose, in my opinion. So let me show you right now. Let's go to the source, Michael Cohen, who's my co-host on Political Beatdown. Let's ask Michael Cohen what he thinks about this deposition and whether he thinks Donald Trump is too scared to show up for his deposition. And I want all of you to respond in the comments if you think Donald Trump is going to be too scared to show up for his deposition. I know other media is not talking about this, but this deposition is going to be big. It's going to be very impactful. So stay tuned to there. Let's go to Michael Cohen, who I believe is playing the violin. Here, play this clip.
Well, we're all crying for the victim of the day. I mean, it's an absolute joke that he thinks he has the ability to tell my counsel what questions they can and they cannot ask. I mean, that is just insane. Now, I will say that the judge correctly turned around and said that there are certain things that you can ask, but if you start going deeper than what is necessary in order to prove your case, prove the defense of your case, he goes, then I'm going to have to intercede and so on. Now, look, between Ben Brodsky, my lawyer down in Florida, and Danya Perry, my lawyer here in New York, we will not go past what is necessary. He makes very specific allegations against me. Now, those allegations become broad in terms of scope for damages, which is what he's asking for by suing for $500 million. I have every right to defend myself to our fullest capability, and he will ultimately have to answer, my opinion, virtually all of the questions, if not all of the questions that will be posed to him during his time under oath for this sit-down deposition. Now, of course, he also wants that gagged, doesn't want anybody to see it, and I understand that because Donald Trump is possibly one of the worst people to have as a client when being deposed, because he doesn't care about the truth. And that's the problem when you're doing a deposition. You are under oath. So it's telling somebody who is a habitual liar and who really doesn't remember half the stuff because it's so blurred in his mind, because he doesn't remember what's true, what's not true, what's real, and what's fantasy land. So keeping stuff straight is very difficult for him. And he'll always try to give an answer which casts him in the greatest light. That's not going to happen again with Danya Perry and Ben Brodsky at the deposition. So my belief, and according to the judge, he is not going to be able to, and this is, you could look this up, it's on NBC or Law 360. You could take a look where they really go into a tremendous analysis of the hearing that took place. The judge is not going to allow him to start claiming the Fifth Amendment to answer, questions. And if in fact that happens, the judge basically warned his attorney, Alejandro Brito, that you will be treading on very uncomfortable grounds. So I'm excited for it. And I can tell you that both Danya and Ben Brodsky are very excited for this deposition as well.
Well, in this $500 million federal lawsuit that Trump filed against you, as you state, it is very broadly pled by him, and he accuses you of spreading falsehoods about him. And this program is cited. The MeidasTouch Network is cited. Mea Culpa is cited. Your book is cited as places where you've spread falsehoods. So you need to defend yourself. He's seeking $500 million. So I would anticipate that your lawyers would be saying, okay, here you've alleged in this federal lawsuit that Michael Cohen is spreading falsehoods. Is that correct? And Donald Trump will say, oh, I think that's correct. Okay, well, please state all of the falsehoods that you allege that he's made about you. Objection, overbroad. You may answer the question. Answer the question. Please state all of the falsehoods. And then your lawyers will go through
I would
it
ask it a little bit different. I would say, Donald, how many falsehoods do you believe Mr. Cohen has Mr. Cohen has said about you? And then he'll turn around and he'll say, I don't know. It's a lot. Okay. Is it more than 10? Yes, definitely. Is it more than 20? Right? Is it more than 50? Is it more than 100? And then we'll start to break it down, into, I mean, that's just how I see something like this, happening, where right now at the part where we're going through the entire, as you said, 80-page plus document here, and, pulling out a bunch of the allegations, many of which are either, I mean, this is the craziest part, they're either barred by the statute of limitations or they're just completely inaccurate in and of themselves. And the defense, of course, to defamation, even though Donald doesn't plead defamation, which was smart on his lawyer's behalf, but the defense to it, as we all know, is veracity. It's the truth. So, it's, the whole thing is really crazy. All I can do is thank everybody for being a part of this aspect of my life, this part of the journey, in terms of holding Donald accountable. I wish he didn't, to be very honest with you. I wish he didn't bring the lawsuit, and not because I don't believe that the case will be dismissed. Hey, Ben, let me ask you this, and I want to ask this to the brigaders. So to the brigaders, let's do something a little interactive. If you believe that Donald Trump will show up to the deposition on September 6th, do a thumbs up. If you don't believe, which I don't believe, that he's going to show up on September 6th, he's going to try to delay it because that's part of the game, hit the Michael Cohen emoji. And I want to just see what people are thinking here. I personally don't believe that he's going to show up on September 6th. Nothing good can come out of this for him, because let's not forget, October, we have the New York Attorney General case, which is taking place, here in New York. It's a civil matter, but this matter is going against him and his company for a multitude of crimes alleged by the New York AG are unsinkable Tish James, which I do believe that I am going to be, and I have no reason to believe other than, I was deposed by Trump's counsel not too long ago. So I do believe that I will be a key witness in that case as well, which once again, I wish that I wasn't. People think that this is fun. This is not fun. And I can tell you that his counsel here, as his counsel will in Florida on cross-examination, they're just going to attack me no different than the Republicans attacked me during my various different congressional committee hearings. It's uncomfortable. I'm used to it. I'm prepared for it. It's not fun. It's not pleasant, but it's necessary. And I want to thank all the brigaders again, for being a part of my life and being a part of this journey.
Well, there you have it, folks. Put in the comments below if you believe that Donald Trump is going to show up for his deposition, or if you believe Donald Trump is too scared to show up for his deposition September 6th that Michael Cohen's lawyers are going to be taking in Miami, Florida. Leave the comments below. Check out Political Beatdown wherever podcasts are available, and go to MeidasTouch.com for all the breaking MeidasTouch news. That's MeidasTouch.com.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.